Another mistake developers make is trying to memorize code. A student once asked me, now that I'm learning how to code, do I need to memorize code the same way I memorize the keys on a keyboard? I told him no. The reason is simple. Technology evolves far too quickly for memorization to be your main strategy. Let me give you some examples. In 2008, Java was the native programming language for Android development. For years, Android developers built applications primarily using Java. 9 years later, in 2017, Google announced Kotlin as its preferred language for Android development. After Google's announcement, thousands of developers around the world had to start learning Kotlin and transitioning from Java to Kotlin. Organizations, academies, and companies began running training programs specifically to help developers move from Java to Kotlin. Now, imagine if your entire career was built around memorizing Java syntax rather than understanding programming concepts. The transition would have been very difficult. Here is another example. From Android early years in 2008 to around 2020, developers primarily designed user interfaces using XML layouts and tools such as constraint layouts. Then in 2020, Google introduced Jetpack Compose, and in 2021, it became stable for production use. Jetpack Compose completely changed the way Android interfaces were built. Again, developers had a choice: adapt or get left behind. The problem is that many developers become emotionally attached to a particular language, framework, or technology because they spent years memorizing it. When something better comes along, they resist learning it because they remember how much effort it took to master the previous one. But the best developers don't focus on memorizing tools, they focus on understanding principles. For example, instead of memorizing code, learn software architecture and how to apply each pattern, security best practices and how to protect applications from vulnerabilities, critical thinking and problem solving, data structures and algorithms, database design and optimization, API design and integration, system design and scalability, version control using Git and collaborative development practices, debugging and troubleshooting techniques, user experience and performance optimization. Why? Because these principles remain valuable even when technologies change. A developer who understands architecture can move from Java to Kotlin. A developer who understands security can secure applications, whether they are built with Flutter, React Native, Android, iOS, Python, or JavaScript. A developer who understands critical thinking can solve problems regardless of the programming language being used. Technology will continue to evolve. The languages, framework, and tools you use today may look completely different 5 or 10 years from now, but the ability to learn, adapt, think critically, and solve problems will never go out of style. So don't spend your energy trying to memorize every line of code. Instead, focus on understanding the concepts behind the code, because developers who memorize tools become outdated. Developers who understand principles remain valuable throughout their careers. Follow for more tech and career growth content.